Cheats. Is that DC Pharma, that DC Pharma, that DC Pharma
DC Pharma Show.
Is that DC Pharma, that DC Pharma, that DC Pharma. Chey! Used to get my piece from AZ. Mary Jane is the case that they give me. Trips from the West Coast stop real fast. DC Pharma show the masses how to grow grass. No till the method, be attentive, slow learner. The raw sheets turn that gas to a slow burner. Big Worm got the strains in variety. Jeff Sessions trying to fuck up the society. Cannabis community, rise up, eyes up. Fight for your right to light or eyes shut. Loud from the motherland. I'm getting high in stadium. Super gas, no clone, it grown with vibranium. Try coke chasers, council of the grower. Self-sufficiency, that's how we need our smokers. Alien dream turn Girl Scouts into soldiers. Smoking doja. Contact if you come closer. Every Monday, 10 to 11 p.m. Focus on that grow, watch the show with your BM. Comedy but interviews real lit. The DC Pharma Show educate real shit. The DC Pharma, that DC Pharma, that DC Pharma, that DC Pharma Show. Is that DC Pharma, that DC Pharma, that DC Pharma Show. Is that DC Pharma, that DC Pharma, that DC Pharma Show. Is that DC Pharma, that DC Pharma, that DC Pharma Show.
Welcome, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the DC Pharma Show. What's up to everybody in chat? Here I got my co-host Big Worm as always.
What's going on, man?
Well, then not as always now. I guess it's about
we count down
5 weeks in now. So with that being said, for those of y'all that don't know, register today. He's gonna tell you when to register if you haven't signed your name up for the chaplain giveaway. And like I said, the chaplain giveaway is the 1948, 49. Which
49,
one is
1949.
You go ahead and explain it to him.
So I'm gonna go ahead. We make the links live now. I'm gonna have it live the entire show. So we're going ahead and giving away the best sprayer that I've ever owned. Should be the last sprayer you ever have to buy. If something goes wrong, you just buy replacement parts for it. But the real benefit to it, I saw it again today in no-till, is when you're really starting up some new soil. It's got such pressure, it's able to really mix that top layer in. So when you put in a top dress or something else, hit it with that sprayer, kind of mix it right on in. So anybody can go ahead and go to the link here and get your entry for the week. And then on the last show, we're going to be drawing one from all the entries, so you can get an entry every show. And it's going to be live the entire show. I'm just going to leave it live for from now until the end of the show.
Definitely, Jai. And trust me, you want to get in on this because this works for everything. Foliar spray, IPMs, and it's very, very simple to clean, and it lasts forever. And they sell parts for it, so if something happens to break, you can order the part. You don't have to order the whole machine all over again.
I mean, unless you run over it with a vehicle, I don't really think you're going to break that tank. I mean, you'd have to really get rough to break the tank. I think the hose might rip or tear or...
Nah, it's definitely safe to say it's going to last you for as long as you could grow.
Yeah, for sure.
So definitely want to go ahead and register for that. The link is in the chat. And anyway, what's going on, chat? We got a special guest with us today. So I definitely want everybody to stay in tune for that. We're going to learn a little bit about hemp today. I know we usually talk about growing, but today we're going to talk about what we're growing sometimes. So especially hemp being a big topic lately. So it's definitely...
I mean, agriculture reaches far and beyond the actual plant. So, you know, I'm seeing some of the added value products that are being produced. There was a ton of them at the festival. There was a booth for everything, I think, from glass to hemp product to dab stations.
What's going on, J-Rock? Hey, finally got to meet J-Rock. That was a pleasure.
It was.
You know, from the giveaway tickets, I definitely was happy to meet the person we gave the tickets away to, and they came all the way from North Carolina, y'all. Had a great time out here. The National Cannabis Fest was lovely. We're definitely gonna talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, I will say with J-Rock, it was nice to experience, you know, smoking with him and you know, just seeing them for the first time. Just can't believe that they're lighting up in the middle of there and everything. You know, that first DC experience of feeling that freedom of not being worried about being arrested for the plant that you want to enjoy. So that was a great time.
Yeah. Tonight's giveaway, which I haven't mentioned yet, part of it also comes from a guest we had tonight, which is the hemp butter. And what hemp butter is, you could use it like shea butter, cocoa butter, you know, lotion or whatever to rub on your body. And she'll explain to us more about that. And we also have the hemp palms. And, you know, that's for your lips. Keep them right. So, like I said, she'll talk more about that. But also, this was interesting, too. I got to meet the guy at the National Cannabis Fest, and he had a few topical things as well on this thing. And this one was a pain reliever. So, you know, I kind of scooped this up and put it there, part of the giveaway as well. So, if you guys want to check them out, that's HempWorks. WORX, HempWorks. Yeah, and cool peoples, man. You know, they'll definitely break everything down to you, what you need to know about their product, and so on. But either way, that's our giveaway today. And the number to call is 202-618-9399. Go ahead and put that up there, Jacob. 202-618-9399. Stoner 202 will be on standby. And you can put them up there, too. So I don't want nobody to think we playing any games. Today, how we going to do it, what's the caller going to be for today?
13.
Call it 13. Call it 13. You call in, you win the giveaway. How we going to do it today, you see Stoner right there on the screen. He's taking your calls. So when the 13th person calls in, he's going to hook you up live, and you're going to tell her who you is. Don't let J-Rock win tonight, y'all. So with that being said, y'all can call in. Like I said, the number's up there. Y'all can call in now. Call it 13. How was your weekend?
My weekend was awesome. I must say the experience there, listening to Cypress Hill, Dr. Green Thumb, you know, rapping about growing weed, rolling up the weed that I grew in D.C. You know, I just feel privileged and blessed to be able to grow weed and be a medical patient here, and it's liberating, but it also at the same time reminds me of the people that don't have that. And I'm sure there's a lot of people there from out of town. There was a lot of people there from everywhere. And so I hope a lot of people got to experience that, and then they go home and they want to start demanding that freedom where they live too. So
no, definitely. I was surprised more so than anything. And I say that saying that I was surprised at the amount of people that showed up. And I think that took everybody by surprise, even the event, everybody to put the event together, because there was so many people there, man. Backyard tore it up. Cypress Hills tore it up. All the undercards did their thing. Everybody was showing out. All the vendors in the stands. I'm telling you, if you didn't do good at that event and that day, then I don't know what you was doing. I don't know. You was definitely sleeping or something through it. But definitely a lot more people than expected showed up, I believe. You know what I'm saying? So, and them food trucks, man. Them food trucks made a killing. What you get? And so you had the DC slice. I saw a lot of them boxes going. You had a box of DC slice, didn't you?
I went with the hot dog, man. I got that chili dog.
Oh, the chili dog.
Well, mainly because it was the shortest line at the time. The lines were crazy for sure. I mean, I got there at 6 o'clock, and there was still a line all the way back to the park. You know, all the way past the lines. You know.
Man, I was so high. I just wanted a funnel cake. That line was ridiculous. I couldn't stand in that line that long, right? All I wanted was a funnel cake. I couldn't get in on that one, but maybe next time. So, Call in, y'all. I heard it to the side. We at caller number 6 so far. And
I will say I do love our guests.
I didn't get to meet Dab and Granny. I should have came to the studio when Phone Homie was doing this thing.
I know, I said the same thing.
I wanted to meet her, man. She seems like a real
Stoner matter.
She seems like a real live spirit, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't have no negative vibes being around her. That's how it seems, man. You know what I'm saying? And you at that age doing it like that too, man. Yes, I you know, hey, hopefully she still be around, man. I get to meet her sometime soon, but it's the only thing I didn't get to do at the event. But
oh, did you catch any of the little classes or whatever? Did you see that?
Nah, see, I made it to the event around, I don't know, was it 6:30 or so. My daughter had like a little birthday party to go to, so she, you know, she had to get all prepped up, princed up, and all that. And I couldn't, you know, trying to rush it as much as I could, but they don't care what Daddy want to do.
Right.
So, you know, when I finished with that, took care of that. That's when I actually made it to the event.
Well, I caught the tail end of a little grow class. Guy asked a question about spider mites. What's the best thing to do with spider mites? And the guy said, you know, during veg, you got lots of options. He said, during flower, you don't have that many options. He said, but you can get out the shop vac.
And do what?
I guess he said to shop back off the
Suck
spider
up all the
mites.
turpentines from the plants? What you gonna do with a shop vac?
I guess you suck them off. But I'm thinking, how many you got to have on there you trying to suck off? Like, that's like, what are you trying? Are you sucking off the bud?
That's
you
a
sucking
never-
the. He told them, get the shop back. That's what they do.
That's a never-ending battle right there.
Yeah, the shop back.
The shop vac, right? And he was teaching a grow class
That
at
was
an
the
event
event.
that
That
was
was the
just
event.
thousands of people there. I hope they weren't listening to him.
Shop back. That is one way you get your families off, I guess. You could pre-trim the
Pre-trim, yeah,
families.
if you're trying to pre-trim.
Suck the families right off.
But if you are in flower, to anybody listening,
Predatory
you know,
mites.
predatory mites all day, every day. Oh, okay, we got a winner, y'all. Caller number
Look at his
13.
eyes. I don't know what that means.
You're on live. Can we hear you? Can you hear us?
What's going on? It's J-Rock.
God damn it, man. Congratulations again. Hey, man, we can't do nothing. It is what it is, man. He won. Congratulations. I ain't gonna hold that back from nobody. And hey, we got your address. We know who you are. We're gonna send you out ASAP. And thanks for calling in.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, bro.
Hey, persistence.
All right.
I guess he's persistent. He got it. He got it again. Huh?
That shit crazy. Like, we had one call from Cali. I was like, all right, cool. It's about to get interesting.
Right.
Then he just rocked the jump. Okay.
Hey, it is what it is, man.
Don't call back. You don't call back.
But like I said again, congratulations, J-Rock. I definitely know you're gonna use all this, so it is what it is, man. Y'all seen it on camera. He was taking the calls. We hooked it up. So y'all already know. Be a little quicker with the draw next time.
Works out. We ain't got that many. We're a little short on the audience tonight. But he must just have the line in, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Speed dial.
Sweet out.
Multiple phones. But everybody should be getting in on the sprayer. Let's see if everybody's under there on it.
But that definitely.
One person.
That's definitely gonna fill up. We got 5 weeks left on that. Or 4 weeks. How you gonna do the ending of this? You have all the way to the end, and then you're gonna pick a winner at the end? Or?
Yeah, the last night.
Okay. So
I'll put it in a randomizer.
okay.
So randomly pick one.
So Stone in the background, man. Before we bring our guests in, how was your experience? Because I seen you taking pictures with Dab and Granny, and I
Man.
seen you at the event.
That shit was
So-
fun, man. It went by too fast. Like, I guess I was so high. Like, the day just was...
Well,
Gotta do
what
it
you
again,
spoken
bro.
on, because it's supposed to work the other
Everything.
way around, man.
Dabbing, like, hitting J's all day.
Were you in the
edibles.
VIP or general
Nah,
admission?
just general admission.
Did you get to make it to the Phone Homie booth?
I slid over there. I seen
Did you
that
make
line.
it? Did you make it in?
No.
Cause see that line was like
No, I don't play with
zigzagging
them.
all
I'm
the way
like
back
you.
out.
I don't play with them lines.
Yeah, man, I
Like,
could.
no,
I
that's not
tried.
Six Flags.
I peeked my head. Man, that line was so sick, man. I said, yeah, whatever's going on, man. Congratulations, good to you.
Right.
I can't do it.
Peep my head in the tent. Oh, that's what y'all doing? All right, that's cool. I'm gonna be over here.
It was
That
love,
was
though.
fun,
It
though.
definitely was love, man.
I caught
Definitely.
all the performances. All the performances was dope. The young dude, I like Bodak Prince from DC from Southeast.
Okay,
Homie lit. I like little homie.
that's what's up.
You know, Cypress Hill. You know, they did their thing. Backyard, they was on
Right,
fire.
right.
So, you know.
Man, like I said, man, this year event was a show, man. They definitely put on a show.
I think they said like 15,000, boy.
I don't know, man. All I know was a whole lot of goddamn people, man.
It definitely sold out. We were one of the last ones to get tickets, I think. It
Yeah,
sold
because my
out
cousin
hours.
couldn't make it in. That's on him, though. I've been told him get your tickets
So
online.
I wonder if it was still people who didn't get in.
No, just my cousin. My cousin didn't make it in.
Couldn't make. Wow.
They tell he couldn't buy no tickets or nothing. No, he waited for the last second. Literally waited for the last second.
Oh no, that's
Oh, you up there? Yeah, I'm up here.
I'm coming.
No, you're not.
Like I said, I got there around 6:30. You calling me, asking me if I'm up there. So by the time he got to the gate, they turned him around.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it was a whole lot of people, man, and police
was
wasn't
dope,
fucking with
though.
nobody.
Like-
Everybody was blazing up.
Yeah.
I didn't really see any police inside the gate where they at least clothes police. I mean,
Shit,
uniform
they was around,
police.
They
goddamn.
was there. They gotta be there.
Nah, they was
Yeah, I mean,
around.
I saw them on the outside. I didn't see a lot of uniform on the inside. I mean, they could have been on, plain clothes, for sure.
And
You
somebody
wanna-
must have had some fire in there too, man, because I seen they had old girl at the ambulance, man. They had her strapped up, taking
It was
blood
quite
pressure and all
quite a
that.
few people took the ride.
Yeah. I seen somebody
down.
sleeping by the porta potties and shit.
Just weed, man. It's just weed.
Yeah, so it's definitely was some fire floating around out there that day. And, I don't know. Like I said, let's get back with the show. The day's different. Y'all on here talking too much about growing today, but like I said, we had the 420 event. We just recapping.
I did put that link in there for the grassroots fabric pots you were telling me about.
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
You want to tell them what they're talking about that?
We can, yeah. So I finally made a decision because I'm at the stage where I'm trying to design the outlook of my greenhouse. So for the longest, I didn't know if I could fit more with 15-gallon pots versus raised beds. So I went to grassroot pots, checked their website out, and I see that they also make custom beds. So I decided to go that route. So, I got a basic bed that I'm getting from them. That's a 4x16. So then my next bed that I'm gonna get them to custom make is gonna be a 16x6. In other words, I'm gonna make it a little wider. Hopefully I can squeeze in a little bit more, whatever. And I'm getting there to the design stage. Like I said, y'all, super, super close. By the beginning of May, I should be popping some seeds or something, man. I got people asking me, do you want any of my clones? I've been thinking about that. But I think for this first go-around, I think I want to start everything from strictly seeds. Who I am going to deal with is Farmer Freeman. So when all my seeds pop, I'm going to overdo everything. So I'm going to, over-germinate.
Who is Farmer Freeman?
I'm about to tell you, see. So Farmer Freeman. Is it XY? Farmer Freeman XY?
Yep.
Okay, Farmer Freeman XY on IG. Now, what this dude do, when you're growing your flowers, right, you're starting out at the seedling stage or whatever,
Okay.
he could sex your plants for you
That early?
that early. You don't have to wait till you about to flip your plants to figure out what kind of plant you have in your garden. So the whole concept of this being so that I'm going to over germinate and I'm going to test every single plant. So Farmer, if you're listening to me, Farmer XY, if you're listening to me, I'm going to need a deal from you, man, because I'm popping a lot of goddamn seeds, man. So I'm going to need some sort of package deal from you. But I'm sexing everything out when everything starts popping and growing, and only the females are going into the raised beds. Everything else is taking the L.
You popping the land race first?
No, I'm not doing none of my land raises.
Okay.
I'm doing all stable genetics so far. I'm going with some I'm going with Mountain Organics for sure. I got a few seeds from dudes I've been rocking with for a long time now with North Genetics. I got some seeds from them, but I also got some seeds from some reputable people, man. So I'm definitely going that route first. My land raised genetics, I definitely want to do that, but that's more of a pheno hunt situation. I put so much money into what I'm doing right now, so I think I need to generate some of that back, truth be told. So, when you see me building all this, it is taking me a minute. It is, I should have been done with it, but I'm my financial backing, so I'm doing this off the backbone of me. You feel what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I'm taking full responsibility of everything that goes on. So I don't have no investors that want to pull out at the last second because they don't agree with something that I want to do or whatever. I have full control. So I can do how I want to do it. If I want to be lazy, I will be lazy. If I want to work super hard, that's what I'm going to do. But, my first run, like you asked me, I want to run everything. I want to deal with stable genetics pretty much. So I know that the outcome is going to be great, hopefully. You know what I mean? But at the same time, everything that I'm doing is a test trial, meaning that I'm trying to save consumption on energy power with using the lights, AC, and so on, the case may be. That's why the roof is solar. You can see through it or whatever the case may be. So don't know how effective it's going to be, but all y'all get to see with me. You see what I'm saying? So it's going to be trial by error.
It's a lot of square footage of soil, sir.
Yeah. I've already got half. I got more than half of my soil, my no-till soil that I've been working gardening with. Never threw it away. Still got cover crops growing in the soil. So the soil is still alive that I have.
Very nice.
So now all I have to do is just add to it and re-amend my old soil. So instead of and we'll get to talking about soil mixing and what the inputs that we put into it. But instead of me having to start from scratch, rice hull, soil, kelp, and all that, everything gets cut down to not even half, but to a quarter. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm not spending as much money.
Mountain Organics took all of that out. They put nothing but rock dust in his now.
And biocharge.
Yeah,
Definitely
so
biocharge.
so he he's spraying his stuff, and his most recent run he did with just the rock dust, and he put, I think, Blue's compost in there.
But see, with Mountain Organics, you got to understand the concept of what he's doing, right? Which is he's starting almost from bare scratch, because he's got now the botanical tinctures that he's making. So that's like inputs that he's feeding, inputs that he broken down that you could emulsify and feed into your soil as organic matter that works more rapidly than you actually breaking a leaf down or throwing malted barley into the soil waiting for it to break down. This works more rapidly, so it's almost like synthetic, where you're feeding your plants almost every 2-3 times a week. You're not doing it this much with this, but everything that you put into your soil is an organic matter. Everything breaks down organically. So, I'm thinking that has more to do to why he's making his soil more simpler. He's feeding it more often.
Absolutely.
So definitely keep that in mind. So when because I do follow Mountain Organic, and I know a lot of my followers do as well. And when you see him changing his soil recipe, also keep in mind how he's feeding his soil. You know what I'm saying? So everything plays a role for sure. But I'm sitting here running my mouth, talking about growing and all that. We said we weren't going to talk about that today, see? But anyways.
You ready to bring on?
Yeah, definitely. Because they've been here waiting, and I appreciate them coming here tonight. I want to welcome y'all, Empress Hill on IG, y'all. And she's going to break down who she is to y'all and everything else. Make sure you follow her on IG. And anybody in chat. And anybody in chat that has any question for her about hemp, her hemp butter or products, feel free to call in. Stoner 202, take your call and your question, and we'll get it answered for you.
Yeah, I don't want to assume.
What's up, everyone? Thank you for tuning in, and thank you, DC Pharma. And I'm meeting you for the first time. What was it?
I'm Big Worm.
Big Worm. Big Worm. It's nice to meet both of y'all, or you rather. Thank you for
definitely-
having me on.
Definitely thank you for being on. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we're a growing channel. We talk mainly about growing the cannabis plant, but we never really get to talk about the after effect of the cannabis plant. Or like tonight, we're going to talk about hemp, which are really closely related, I think. I don't know. You're going to break that down for me a little bit, because I got a few questions about hemp myself anyway. So that's why we have you here tonight. We want to learn more about hemp. We see that that's where the agriculture business is heading towards. I do know a little bit about hemp, like as far as history goes. Like it used to be used for every damn thing, and it's biodegradable. So, like I said, I'm not gonna take the stage away from you. So, like I said, we got with us Hempress Hill on IG, y'all. So make sure y'all follow him, Hempress Hills. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into this part of the game.
So, again, my name is Kyla Hill, known in the industry as Hempress Hill. I started working with hemp about 7 years ago. My original job was experiential marketing, and it's pretty much doing promos. So one of the companies I represented, they had a non-dairy beverage, and it was made with hemp. So that just sparked something within me, this plant that you can make milk out of. So I looked into it deeper, and I learned early on that anything that's wood, paper, plastic, cotton can be made better and more sustainable with hemp. So it was on from there. This was around the time that I traveled out of the country to Costa Rica. It changed my whole perspective on life in a sense. So I started paying more attention to what I was putting into my body, what I was using on my skin, and it was a huge transition period for me with my hair. I went from having a perm for all of my adult life to realizing that a lot of the problems that I was trying to combat with having a perm, I was causing, like the hair thinning. My hair wouldn't grow past a certain length. I had bald spots from chemical burns and other things. So it was pretty serious. So around this time, I started making things using shea butters and different oils. And the two met each other, you know, what I knew and was learning about hemp and what I was making, you know, for my own wellness. And that's when I saw an opportunity to share it with other people.
Right.
And hemp butter was born. Hemp butter was born before Initiative 71 and before things were legal in Colorado even. So there was a huge stigma and nobody understood it. So when I would go to Whole Foods or any of the major retail chains and try to sell them a product I was so confident about, and to get turned away and told that what I'm doing is not legal, that started a whole new mission, and that was to inform people on the differences between hemp and what they've labeled as marijuana. So that's what started it, you know. So it's been about 7 years of studying, research, sharing, growing, learning, and all of the elements of not only being an entrepreneur, but also kind of starting the education process as an adult. You know, these are things I didn't learn in school. Everything that I've learned about hemp, I've learned.
Yeah, I could attest to that because these schools, man, as far as anything agricultural, it's like unless that's something you're trying to study, they're not really getting too deep into that out here, anyways.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that you said hemp butter. I mean hemp milk.
No, I'm okay. Thank you, though.
I'd never heard of it. Hemp milk, like that. I'm definitely like, no, I'm good. I never heard like hemp milk. Really, where they're pressing the milk? Is it from the seed, the plant, the stem?
So look, anything that's plant-based, you can make a milk out of it. Nuts, seeds. There's so many other benefits to using plant-based milks. You'll get protein, vitamins, calcium, and all of the things that you would find in dairy milk. With none of the negatives, you don't have to worry about lactose intolerance. You don't have to worry about other digestive issues, immunities, you know, that develop, and mucus in general. You know, a lot of that stuff is present in animal fats, and that's like a whole nother show. But long story short, you know, I learned, and I was amazed just like you are, like, wow, you can make milk out of seeds. So I actually started making my own hemp milk at home. I thought I was really going to be the next big item on the shelves in terms of having a beverage. So in the process of making hemp milk and not being very successful at it at the time, I decided to kind of go back to the drawing board and stick to what I knew, which was hair care products. So hemp butter started as a hair care product.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you can make milk out of almonds. You can make milk out of like
I
just
seen
about
almond
any
milk for
seed.
sure. Yeah, so
Yeah, and it's very easy to do. Like I have a couple of videos floating around where I actually go through the process of doing it from scratch.
so you also have a YouTube page?
Yeah, I haven't really been active on YouTube. I'm on IG a lot at Empress Hill. And that's where I've been able to reach the most people and share. And it works for my attention span because my videos are like 15 to 30 seconds.
I think you need to keep it there anyways. 'Cause the way YouTube is going right now, they're cutting a lot of people's channels down that even mention the word cannabis. Right
yeah, and
now,
this is the uphill battle, you know, like again, starting early on, this is all I had was people saying no this. And I actually had an opportunity early on for being in a major retail store, and it required me cheapening the formulation of my product, but also not calling it hemp and not really attaching it to cannabis. I decided to go with my instinct, which was to embrace cannabis and like really dive into that. So it's kind of like one of those roadblocks that you get to, and
Right.
you're like, if I go this way, then you know I could be making all this money, rah rah rah. But I went the other way, where it's more of a marathon. You know, I'm experiencing things and learning and embracing the plan. I'm not hiding from it.
And it's definitely a unique route anyways, because once you break the ceiling on that, you could just say you was the one that did that. Like the other route is just so much competition that eventually, and not to say that your product's not any lesser than, but eventually you'll get drowned out, you know, by the same person in the same manner. You know, it's just so much competition in this line of marketing. But what's unique to yours is, like you said, it's a stigma behind it. And people are afraid to dive into it, but you actually took that, you know, that route.
So
Now,
if I could, right now, are you, or how long do you think it will be before you can source your hemp from the U.S., or do you think it will, you know?
I mean, I can actually do that right now, and I'm in the process of finding a reputable company in the States where I can start to get my ingredients from. Early on, it wasn't a possibility, so I started importing from Canada. And Canada's been ahead of the game in terms of, you know, they've been sending us seeds and food products for decades, you know, since 1998. And then we also get hemp, like textiles and raw materials from China. And the third place where we're getting it from most of the time is Europe. So we're spending billions of dollars every year importing it from other countries. We are the largest consumers of it.
Right.
But now, you know, it's legal to grow under pilot programs in 36 states. There are still limitations, just like with any licensing. And depending on what state you live in, the limitations will be set forth. But now people can grow. You have to grow a lot of hemp, like thousands of acres, to be able to really make anything from it. So Colorado, Kentucky, other places throughout the nation, they really have a head start, and they actually have like the land capacity and the machines to process it.
I mean, and it definitely looks like it's going to be overtaking the agriculture industry because it's in demand right now.
Yes,
You know,
it's in demand. It's like a supply demand thing. I think that what my goal is to really make the demand higher and like push companies, like all of these companies that are using plastic and contributing to microplastic contamination.
I can't wait till that
And
happens.
all of these companies just cutting down trees faster than we can grow them. I want to make hemp so popular that the demand is there and people will see a solution by having a supply.
Because you can make plastic with hemp.
Yeah, you can make plastic with flax, hemp, and those plastics break down in like 40
Exactly.
days versus 500 plus years.
So instead of polluting our oceans or our land or anything, it disappears after 30, 40 days, whatever the case may be.
They, excuse me, they showcased a ultralight building hemp brick that they basically build homes out of, and they don't wear their fire retardant because of how tightly the hemp is
That
packed.
Air Creek thing? That would they mixing it with Air Creek and they putting the hemp in there to make it more stable?
Maybe that might be something else they're doing.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, it definitely has thousands of uses. This is so, all around.
Well, it had thousands of users before they made it illegal.
Yeah, and that was, it was a threat to a lot of the major industries out there. If your whole likelihood is set up around having paper or having petroleum, and there's something that's going to threaten your whole production and your whole monopoly, then you're going to do everything in your power to.
And that's the problem now. We're fighting
Get
an
people
uphill
against
battle. The people that are stable right now, it's a threat. We're fighting an uphill battle, man. Like, really, you can make milk from hemp too, and plastic, and like everything, man.
You can make anything. Like, you can make wraps. You can make hemp balms. You can make treats. And these are all things from
so if we could,
companies that I work with. You can make body care products, soaps. You can make
It's got a
twine. You can make seeds for nutrition. You can make clothing.
We got a question right quick.
All right, what's the question? What's up?
Go ahead, J-Rock.
Okay, so starting. Yeah, great question. So starting with the original product, the hemp butter. This is all in one. Anything that you're using shea butter or coconut oil for, you can use the hemp butter. The hemp actually works as a catalyst, so it penetrates, pierces, so it really absorbs, rather than just coating the surface of your skin. The application is pretty simple. It melts at body temperature. So if you're using it for facial hair, for example, you can just melt it in your hands and then apply it directly. If you're using it for dryness in your feet or your hands, you would just, again, melt it and then apply it accordingly. It takes about 90 seconds for it to fully absorb, and you won't have any residual oiliness. So the application is on point. Using it for your hair, for me, this is the only thing that I use in my locks. I've been growing my locks for over 7 years. And in the process, I've learned that less is more. So anything outside of your body that you put in your body, it has to come out. And if it doesn't come out, then it's just getting built up. So when you constantly putting things in your hair or on your skin, then you're clogging your pores, you're creating dirt, and then we go through like this whole cycle of creating problems that we use these products to solve, like dryness and conditioning and all of those things. It's a myth, So the hemp butter is kind of to replace all of those other products. You just simply use it to moisturize at the times that you need it. It doesn't need to be an everyday thing. The only thing that I use it on daily is my face. And it's like a barrier to a lot of toxins that are in the environment. And I naturally have dry skin. So for me, it works for me every day on my face. But for someone else who might have oily skin, for example, then you probably wouldn't want to use hemp butter on your face because it will,
Be shining.
Yeah, you'll be shining, and it could cause you to break out. So everyone has different ways to use it. One of my friends who does makeup, she uses it as a primer as well. She uses it for lashes, even things that you wouldn't think of that need to be lightly moisturized. So people hit me up all the time and tell me different things that they've used it for that I might not have thought of. So I just say that you can use it for everything. For the smaller one, hemp balms, this one is completely vegan. We use oils that have a proprietary method of extraction, so it doesn't have any solvents. It's just pretty much pressed from the source. So it's safe to eat and perfect for your lips. So those are the hemp balms. It's something you can just fit in your pocket, so even if you're using it on your lips, like this is what I just used on my hands before I sat down, so I wouldn't be ashy talking about moisture.
Right.
So really, it works for everything. There's no limitations.
Well, I definitely think 10 for 10 on the containers. Can you talk about the containers for a second?
So the containers are bamboo. This was a process. The original product that I came out with 5 years ago was actually in a glass jar. During my growth period, I realized that the glass wasn't really the best thing moving forward because of weight, because it's fragile, and I was using these hinge jars. So it was also not really great for like assembly, you know, when you're trying to create processes. So the bamboo, it was after I went out to Colorado. I had an opportunity to audition for this reality show, Marijuana Show, and that helped a lot. But during my journey in Colorado, it was the realization that if I'm going to make this scalable, I need to look into other packaging options. I've been about sustainability from the start. So for me, if it's not hemp, it's bamboo. So I found the bamboo. I sat down with my business partner, Molly Coleman, and we just had like a brainstorming session. And we talked about, oh, well, let's use this, that. And I remember Molly said, oh, well, what about wood? And I was like, I was so stuck on silicone at the time. I thought that that would have been the best thing. It's cool. Nobody was using silicone.
Right.
And there's a reason for that. But anywho, as I started exploring things more, I went back to the whole wood thing, and it was like bamboo, bam. So I took about eight months to a year. I kind of stepped back from the original product that I came out with the way that it was, and took time to learn the business and raise money so that I could really invest and go full forth with it. And this is the result.
That's beautiful, though. And it feels
All right,
good
thank
in the
you.
hand, too, though, man. And then that you mentioned it, that the lightness is, I'm glad that you said that, because filling this bottle compared to that, you know, there's definitely a difference in weight.
Yeah,
So-
and glass is great. Like, there's some things that I will only purchase if it is in a glass bottle. So if it was more sustainable in terms of like shipping, and I didn't have to worry about things breaking, you know, I would have definitely chose that over, you know, like I had glass originally. So glass is great, but it is a little bit heavier.
I guess eventually, pretty soon, you'll probably be making it out of hemp.
Yeah, that's the goal.
That'd be pretty
That's
cool.
the goal.
But I have a question, and I'm pretty sure that people want to know. I don't know if they want to ask it or not. But what is the difference between a hemp plant and a cannabis plant?
So there's lots of differences. The genetic makeup is slightly different. The way that you grow it is different. What you're using it for is different. And then it's makeup of compounds, cannabinoids. So the textbook definition would be less than 0.3%. That's less than 0.3% THC. That's 0.03 is considered hemp. Anything greater than that is considered what they've called marijuana. But there's also slight variations of that rule depending on what state you're in. So, for example, if you go to Virginia, Virginia passed a law that allows epileptic patients to use certain strains of hemp that are high in CBD, but these strains actually contain THC as well. It's still hemp though. The limitations for this medication is it has to have at least 15% THC, but less than, whatever percentage. So there's a lot of strains out there that have both THC and CBD that by the state it might still be considered hemp. So there's the definitions are very complex. Obama signed the Farm Bill 7606 that kind of defines it a little bit more. So I'd say what that would say is like the industrial uses is considered hemp, and the medicinal uses are considered cannabis.
So all in all, from what I'm taking from it, it's still kind of one and the same plant, but one is lower in THC more so than the other. Now, the one that's lower in THC, so like, let's say if we went, is it 0.3 or 0.13 you said?
So it's 0.3%.
Okay, so let's say we went with the 0.3%. Would that mean that same plant would have a higher CBD value to it?
Yes, correct. So just because it has 0.3% THC doesn't mean that it can't have like very high numbers of CBD. And that's just all based on genetics, like what strain you're growing and then what you're growing it for. So for someone who has epilepsy, who's actually using it to treat seizures, you're going to want to have a very high CBD content.
Right.
And the THC actually, they work well with each other. Our bodies are hardwired for cannabis. So with the CB1 receptors and the CB2 receptors, our body responds to that. I guess this is a good time to kind of touch on a little bit of the difference between CBD and THC.
Exactly.
So I guess if you look at this plant, okay, this plant has many different components. Let's say that it has about 100 different cannabinoids. Of those cannabinoids, CBD accounts for usually at least 40% of that, and THC accounts for a large percentage of that as well. So those are the ones that you hear about all the time. You also have CBN. There's like over 60 to 100 different cannabinoids. So our bodies, when we medicate with cannabis, our cannabinoid receptors pretty much bond to THC. And these transmitters are like in your brain, they're in your organs. So THC bonds to that, and that's how you react to it. So the receptors in your mind, it's bonding to the THC, and you have what they would say hallucinations or psychoactive or toxicity. So with CBD, it actually doesn't bond the same way. It triggers a whole nother element within the endocannabinoid system, and that's what's reacting, and that's why you don't get high or hallucinate or have these psychoactive effects when you ingest CBD. So I hope I did a good job of explaining it, but I'm still learning a lot, and so is anyone who's researching it. They just started researching again after Prohibition in the 1990s,
And I always stress that myself too. It's like they stopped everything dead on its track, and now everything's being like re-woken up or relived or whatever the case may be. It's like we starting from scratch all over again.
Yeah, but we're not really starting from scratch in the sense that the information is out there if you take time to get it. USDA Chief Botanist Leicester Dewey wrote a whole journal documenting all of his encounters as a botanist, growing the plant, and then touches on all of the uses from back in the day. When you look through history, back to ancient China, ancient Egypt, we were using it for building materials. You talked about that, Big Worm. We were using it for functionality of these buildings, for ropes, for ship sails. We were using it for spiritual and ritual purposes. When it came to the States, it immediately became part of the U.S. pharmacopoeia. We're using it for medicine. So it's a lot.
Definitely. And right now, the future for hemp looks bright because you got John Boehner. He done jumped on the train wagon. Mitch McConnell now is passing law for agriculture and hemp. So I don't know, man. The way things is looking, I think they starting to realize the turn of events. So
I definitely said it before. I definitely think it will be the next traded commodity. I do think it will be on the stock exchange and traded. The big ag companies are already making the equipment. They were coming on that problem in North Carolina, having the equipment and infrastructure and the amount you have to grow. And they talked about Virginia just warehousing it like old tobacco. And they're going to get there because they want that money.
Yeah, and we're running short, but I will say you're right. But with that also comes big farm and big company. But what I would say to any local growers or gardeners, don't get discouraged. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep growing this plant, whether it be the hemp plant, the cannabis plant. I think they one and the same if you ask me, but it depends on the CBD THC ratio that you're looking for. So keep growing the plant, man. Don't get discouraged. But big company is gonna come behind all this, y'all. That we're not gonna lie about that. So with that being said, we're running out of time for sure. It's a great show today. I wish we would have talked a little bit earlier about him because we could talk about this all day. It's a very, very, very interesting subject. But why don't you tell the people where they can reach you, where they can find you, and where they can contact you for advice about hemp?
So I'm definitely active on IG. It's at Hempress Hill. That's HEMPRESSHILL. You can find me on Facebook. Facebook is more for friends and family, so I would like to meet you first before I let you into Kyla's life. But Hempress Hill on IG, and then come by the shop. I have a pop-up with Tati with Spacey Cloud. I'm digging your hat, by the way.
Yes, indeed.
So that's
Spacey
in Adams
Cloud,
Morgan. We popped up there about a month ago. I'll be there for a while. So that's going to be at 2309 18th Street Northwest, Adams Morgan. And thank you again for having me on.
And she ain't doing no justice, y'all. Look, check this out. The shop and the shop that she just said, the address that she just gave y'all, go to it. Man, it's a cool shop. It's got space in there. The hats is all laid out. They have a bar in there. But it's just a cool-ass lounge area, man. And if you're not doing that but just want to come and hang and chill.
I have hemp food, hemp merchandise.
They're not going to lock you up like Starbucks.
See,
No
Cuban
joke.
coffee,
You're
CBD
welcome.
infused coconuts.
But with that being said, man, I see y'all next week. And thanks for tuning in, y'all. Chat, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the question. And congratulations again, J-Rock. I swear to God, you need to go buy you a lottery ticket tomorrow or something because you was lucky. And with that being said, catch y'all next week, y'all.
I want to grow my own shit. Is that DC Pharma, that DC Pharma, that DC Pharma. DC Pharma Show. Is that DC Pharma, that DC Pharma, that DC Pharma. Shay! Used to get my piece from AZ. Mary Jane is the case that they gave me. Trish from the west.